On part 1 of my Cloner Alliance ViewPro review, I did an unboxing, I checked out the feature set, I went through the menu, I did a calibration on the thing, but you know what? I saved the fun stuff for part 2 that's coming up on ThriftyAV. Quick disclaimer, the folks at Cloner Alliance sent over this ViewPro HDMI capture device, but it does so much more than HDMI capture. You can hook up composite video, you can hook up VGA, you can hook up component video and capture those things. And that is my goal for this video. I have a bunch of stuff back here I want to test with the ViewPro to see how well it works. This Super Console X is a game system with HDMI out. This game system here has composite output. This old Blu-ray player here has component output. And I also want to check out the Roku Ultra and this old gaming machine here that has VGA output. I want to see if I can capture from it. I left a couple things off of the last video that I need to talk about, and one of them is these buttons over here. This captures way more than HDMI, so you need to use the source button to toggle through all the source options. Some of the things I'm going to be capturing today have a 4:3, not a 16:9 aspect ratio. I will be using that button today. If you want to snap a picture, you can hit that button and it'll just grab one frame of video. The eye is an information display that shows more information on screen, including bit rate, where the thing's being stored, if a microphone's hooked up, etc. Playback switches over to the files that are already on the ViewPro, so you can play them back. This button starts and stops the recording. This button will let you delete files out. This is the menu button, and this is the return button, and you can go through the menus using this little keypad and the OK button. The remote can do all the same things, plus some stuff that's buried in the menu. Alright, the next thing you should know is that if you plug in an HDMI monitor or some other HDMI recording device into the HDMI out here, you're going to lose your screen. It'll be output on whatever you plugged in right here. So don't be alarmed when you lose your screen if you plug something into the HDMI output. I want to test out the Roku Ultra first because it's going to have channels with HDCP copy protection, and I want to see what happens when I try to load up some video that likely has HDCP copy protection. I bet Rise of the Planet of the Apes certainly has copy protection on it. If the ViewPro was blocked from recording HDCP, it would have had a disclaimer on the screen right now. I don't see that disclaimer, so it appears that I'm recording off of the Roku. Now the Roku is outputting 4K and I'm recording at 1080p. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'll show a few seconds of what I captured. HDCP did not interfere with the ViewPro capturing from my Roku Ultra. The ViewPro converted 4K video to 1080p with no problem, and the video looked good. The audio sounded a little bit compressed. It was stereo. The original source was surround, so the surround was not maintained. It was converted into stereo. Now, Blu-rays also have HDCP copy protection, so let's do that next. I'm playing the movie Predator on the Blu-ray player. It is hooked up via HDMI. I am recording. I'm 44 seconds into the recording, and it is recording onto this thumb drive. All right, when I see a scene that I want to show you a few seconds of, I will play that back from the HDMI. That scene looked a little bit dark, but much of the Predator movie looks a little bit dark. It was just produced that way. Now I could boost the gain by increasing the video level or even the contrast in the ViewPro if I wanted to do that. I've switched over to component video. That's an analog format, but it is an analog format capable of high definition. YPBPR is the other name for it. For audio, I'm using the left and right RCA audio outputs on the Blu-ray player. I'm going to record this same scene and take a look at it when I capture it through component video. Alright, just for giggles, I'm going to switch the source to composite video. Composite video is not capable of high definition. I'm going to record that same scene. This will not look as good. I put on my gaming headset because it's time to record some gaming, and I'm going to add some voiceover to it. Now this gaming headset is a budget headset, so the microphone on it is not the greatest, but I should still be able to level check and see how this sounds when I mix it with the HDMI output on this gaming system. Setting the audio levels is kind of guesswork, but I'm going to turn the HDMI volume way down to about 25%, and the mic volume maxes out at 60%, so I'm going to leave it there, and if these levels don't work, I'll adjust them again later. The headset microphone needs to be plugged into the mic in jack. I'm going to plug the speakers into the line out. Headset audio test 1, 2, 3. The mic volume at 60 was way too hot. I'm going to 1/3 that. I'm going to take the mic volume all the way down to 20. Testing the headset mic one more time and seeing how it sounds like set to 20. I don't want to pick a fighting game. I want to pick a racing game. How about Need for Speed? Oh, this is supposed to be in Dolby Surround. Well, it'll capture it in stereo. The HDMI volume is way too low. So I'm going to go in here and increase the HDMI volume until I hear the game. Now the HDMI volume is set to 30 and mic is set to 20. I can actually change these on the fly. Left and right will change the HDMI volume. Up and down will change the mic volume. So I'll be using these to tweak the volumes from here on out. I did a little more tweaking on the audio. The HDMI level is now set to 27, and I also boosted the line out level, so I'm hearing more in my headphones. But what I'm hearing in my headphones is I would describe it as mix minus, meaning I hear the HDMI audio, but I don't hear my own voice, which is probably a good thing. I'm just going to go with the defaults on everything and start the game up. Okay, I think the accelerator is the A button, maybe? Sounds like I'm revving up, and I've just peeled out. Now there is a slight delay on the controllers. This is a low latency monitor here on the ViewPro, not a zero latency. I might check latency later by using a splitter and comparing the latency on the screen that I'm on the ViewPro to a proper HDMI monitor or TV set. Now I'm blaming latency, but it might just be me not very familiar with this game. Crashing into walls and signs, probably going too fast into curves. Whoops, I just flipped over. And I'm hoping the ViewPro looks good and sounds good, and it's a good mix between my microphone and the audio from the game when I listen to this back in post-production. Whoops. I'm going to leave it at that. I interrupt gameplay to do a latency test. On the left here I have a Chromebook, and I am mirroring the image into the ViewPro. And you can see that that the ViewPro is following ever so slightly, just a slight delay after the Chromebook here. Now I'm not currently recording. I'm going to hit record here and see if that changes. And it did not change. When I'm recording, I have about the exact same delay on the ViewPro after seeing an image on the Chromebook. So latency might affect gameplay when you're capturing. So you might want to use a splitter and play off of a monitor, especially with games that require lightning quick reactions. All right, next is this 8-bit Nintendo knockoff here. I'm going to have to change the input to AV. There it is, AV, because it is composite only. Also, this is supposed to be 4:3, so I'm going to switch it to 4:3. I think I'm going to go with some Adventure Island. Okay, how is the music compared to my voice? Are they well balanced? Okay, sounds and kind of plays like Mario. Ooh, what's that, a banana? Wonder what the egg does. It didn't do anything. I bet that thing's not good for me. Okay. Oh, how am I supposed to get past 2 of these guys? I didn't. Okay, let's do this again. Obviously, I'm supposed to collect the bananas. I don't know what this egg's all about. Ooh, look. Now I got a... Oh, can I only use it? Ooh, I can keep using it. Well, it doesn't do anything to the rocks. Oh, that's... God, it disappeared. The bananas disappeared. There we go. Ooh, now I got a skateboard. Oh, but apparently I died. Next up, I want to do VGA capture. Now this cable is female and a VGA port is also female, so you will need a VGA cable in order to do this capture. You're also going to want to run the line audio output from the PC into the VGA audio input on the ViewPro. I'm going to select VGA, but I have not turned this computer on yet. I got to plug it in first. Alright, things are kind of a mess here, but I have the VidPro hooked up, I have a mouse hooked up, I have a keyboard hooked up. I'm going to make sure this is in 4:3 mode, maybe. It might not let me switch until it boots up. I'm going to go ahead and boot it up. But I'm going to go ahead and start recording and then do a normal boot on this. And the Windows 98 splash screen is lasting a long time. Oh, I'm getting the same... Oh, there it goes. It's booting. Alright, it wants to find my monitor, plug and play monitor. Well, my monitor is the VidPro. In case you're wondering, I have the Windows 98 disk in one of the drives, which I'm just going to leave it in there. And I have Dungeon Keeper in the other drive. Let's go ahead and proceed on the Dungeon Keeper. I'm going to hit run. It's still freezing and struggling here. Ooh, ooh. Alright, it's playing now. And it's being recorded on the ViewPro pretty good. This is one of the cool classic video game intros. Let's start a new game.
Eversmile. Set in the realm of joy, the people of Eversmile are plagued only by aching facial muscles, and not anthrax as we had hoped. Eversmile is a disgusting land of good humor and polite frivolity.
mine the gold here. And you got to stash the gold away. I'll stash the gold.
You must build a treasure room to store gold.
Alright, well, this should demonstrate that I'm able to capture VGA. This was 640 by 480 VGA on this old Bullfrog game, Dungeon Keeper. I've spent 2 days testing out the Cloner Alliance ViewPro, and I still haven't tested out everything. For example, I've only used this as a standalone device, but you can use this as a capture device hooked up to your computer and use software to capture the video through all these different sources. If you want to see that as a video, well, let me know in the comments and I'll see about doing a part 3. Overall, I am very impressed with the versatility of the ViewPro as well as the quality of the video that I was getting from it. It was able to handle 4K inputs, R1080p inputs through HDMI. It handled inputs through the component, the composite, and the VGA inputs on here. In fact, the only thing from my wish list that's not supported here is S-VGA. I kind of wish that that was supported as well. The Cloner Alliance was not tripped up by copyrighted material from the Roku Ultra or my Blu-ray player, and that is something I've had issues with other HDMI capture devices, either standalone or hooked up to the computer. It's not the ViewPro's fault that I was using a $10 headset when testing the microphone input. If you use a better headset, you're going to get better results on your microphone input audio. I did have to do a little bit of tweaking to optimize the levels, but the menu allowed for that tweaking. I could set the contrast exactly where I want it, or the video level, or the audio levels as well. I discovered that I like using a thumb drive with it more than an SD card. Both will work fine. It's just going back and forth between my shoot and my edit machine. Having the thumb drive was way more handy. You will want a fast thumb drive. A slow old thumb drive is not going to be able to keep up with the recording on this video. I did measure 0.12 seconds of latency using the ViewPro's monitor. That is low latency, but it's not no latency. So if you're playing a game that requires instantaneous feedback, you might use an HDMI splitter and use a separate monitor as your gaming monitor when you are recording using the ViewPro. When capturing VGA from an old PC and the resolution changed from the splash screen to the actual game, I got a little font on here that said what the new resolution was, and that was captured. I'm going to dig into the menu and see if I can disable that, because some people aren't going to want to see 640 by 480 or whatever resolution changes happen as you are playing your game. Cloner Alliance sent over the ViewPro as a review sample. Now, I consider review samples to be on loan, so if the folks at Cloner Alliance want this back, they can ask for it back, but I hope they don't ask for it back, because the ViewPro is the best standalone 1080p capture device I have tested. It's the most versatile for sure, and I would like to keep using it in future videos. You got that, Cloner Alliance? If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Thank you to my patrons and my members for supporting this channel, and remember, stay thrifty, everyone.